Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games and Collectibles. And today we are looking at something that is very old, very rare and very, very difficult to find and extremely collectible, especially in the condition that this particular item is in. We are looking at the 1950s release by Martin Lucas from their series of Dan Dare items, and this particular item we are looking at today is of the Dan Dare Eagle Eye viewfinder, together with the film strip. Now, as you know, Dan Dare was the otherwise known as the space pilot from the future. He originated in the Eagle comics, and basically he was in the Eagle comics during its entire run. So he's basically a British science fiction comic hero. He was created by the illustrator Frank Hampson, and Frank Hampson also wrote the first stories that Dan Dare appeared in the Eagle comic series. He was the pilot of the future, as I said, and he appeared in the Eagle comic from 1950 right through to the Eagle's finish in 1967. And subsequently he was also in a lot of reprints, and there was also a dramatisation on Radio Luxembourg between 1951 and 1956 that featured none other than Dan Dare. The whole of the Dan Dare stories were all set in the 1990s. Well, from the 50s, that was 40 years into the future. It's now 35 years in the past. But the man of the character was very reminiscent of Biggles from the Biggles books, or maybe even Buck Rogers from Buck Rogers' Trip to Mars and Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Now, he did actually make a comeback into the comics. He returned in the 2000 AD comic from 1977 to 1979, and he also appeared again in the relaunched Eagle comic during its run from 82 until 94. So yeah, a very, very popular character who had appeared in many comics and many comic strips. Okay, but let's not digress too much. This in front of us is the Dan Dare Eagle Eye. Now, basically, it is a film viewer, all intents and purposes, but let's have a look at it. So it says 3 and 6, which is probably the price at the time, complete with 2 films. It says The Monuments of England and Our Soldiers Past and Present. It's got Eagle Eye printed on the top there. You can't see it very well, so that sticker is over the top of it. And you've got an image of Dan Dare in his cowboy hat. You've got an image of Dan Dare in his space suit. You've got an image of Dan Dare in his hat. And you got the image of Dan Dare as a fireman. There we are. And it says instructions for use. Insert the film from left to right. Hold the viewer between the thumb and forefinger of your left hand and pull the film strip along with your right hand. Hold the eyepiece of the viewer as close as possible in front of your eye. After having viewed the film row of pictures, push the eyepiece down to see the next row. The loose piece inside the viewer is the adjustable section of the film frame. It forms a 9x9mm window on one side for Eagle, Girl and TV comic films, and a 6x9mm window if inserted the other way round for mini cine, skill and Lilliput films. To adults, the window, slide the eyepiece out of the as far as it will go, remove the loose piece and replace it in the reverse position. It's made in England, Martin Lucas Limited, Hollywood lengths. Okay, so that's the box. So while we open it up, and take out the viewer. So what have we got inside here? So we've got the viewer itself. We've got the film strip in there, and we've also got, let's just zoom out a little bit. So we've got this, whatever this is instructions, probably not instructions, that was printed on the box. So what is this? This is, oh, so this is the film list. So there's mini cine animated films, and there's the, so you got the Disney ones there, Walt Disney film series, Enid Blyton film series, comic stories and adventure stories. Miscellaneous there, sport, fables and legends, Bible stories, and you've got the Universal two-row films, Dan Dare, Pilot of the Future, PC-49, Riders of the Range, Indian stories, adventure stories, mystery thrillers and miscellaneous. TV comic films, Universal four-row films, senior films, junior films, adventure films, Roy Rogers films, and then you've got the Lilliput films for the eagle eye viewer, each showing 15 illustrations in full colour with subtitles at 6p each. Okay, so that's the list of films that are available, and this here is the viewer, the eagle eye viewer. Now this is that's a section that slides backwards and forwards, as it was telling you on the box there. So that moves up and down so that you can view your film from one side to the other, I imagine. Yeah, so that's definitely the movement of it. So in here we've got Monuments of England, which is the Lilliput film. So let's open that out. And there we've got two, it looks like there's two film strips in there. So I'm guessing that it will only go in one way. It won't go, it's too wide to go in that way. So it's gonna have to go in this way. So that's the film shredded in. And it says you put it in and you pull it with your left hand. So I think that's what it said. It said insert the film from left to right. Okay, so it's left to right, so we're on this way. So we've put the film in, and it says hold the viewer between the thumb and forefinger of your left hand and pull the film along with your right hand. So you, right, okay, so you pull the film along with your right hand, like so, I would imagine. Yeah, okay, so I don't know if you can see inside the viewer. It's very, very difficult. I know it's going to be difficult to see because it's, can I get an, oh, there we are. So you can see the buildings inside the viewer there. Oh, actually, I've got the film strip the wrong way around. Let me just turn that round. Okay, so I've turned the film around the other way, and I think you can just about see through the viewer there. It says the Monuments of England, and I think as you push the film through, you start to see the buildings. You just can't see it very well because it's and that one says Greenstead Church, Essex. And that's an image of the church. If I carry on pulling this through, and we've got Saxon Church, which is Bradford-on-Avon. Okay, and then we need to slide the strip down to see the next film. So that's pretty much basically how it works. So your eagle eye is literally a film strip viewer. So I appreciate it's a little bit difficult to see because of the way the camera is, but I'm just trying to get you to see in there as best I can, which is very difficult on the camera because it just blurs it out. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult to see, but you get the gist of what you do there. So you read the first batch of slides, and then you drop the eyepiece down to view the slides on the other half of the film. If I just take the film strip back out, so you can see you've got the slides going across there. So you see the first 4 slides, then you go along, you see the next lot of slides. So basically that is how it works. Because of the type of film, it goes in just this one way, and slides all the way across, as you can see. And you can just slowly move the viewer up, so you get to see all of the images as you wish to see them. So that is basically how it works. Now, it does say that the other film strips can go in, but you put them in the opposite way, as opposed to putting the strip through this way. You turn it the opposite way around and push it through the opposite way. Obviously, this film strip will only go in one way. It's too wide to go through that way, so it can only go in the way that we had it in, which is that way. Yeah, I suppose any negative from the old style of films would go through. They were all about that size of negatives, so I imagine that any of them really will go through this viewer, so you could use your own photograph images if you've got any from the pre-digital age, and you could view your own strips in this viewer as well. So there we have it. That is the Dan Dare Eagle Eye viewer. I'm just going to take that film out and pop it back into its envelope. So that is the viewer, and that is the film that comes with this one. It did say there was 2 on the box, but there isn't. There's only 1 film strip in here. I dare say over the course of the years it has got lost. Remember, this is 1950s, so we're talking 75 years approximately since this was actually made. I just want to measure this for you so you've got an idea of size, because it's not particularly big, but we're looking at 5 centimeters across, about 4.5 centimeters high. And then if we measure back to the back of the eyepiece, we're 3.5 centimeters, and you just see that from the back to the front there is about 3.5 centimeters. So that gives you the idea of the size. So it's not a huge item, but it is a very nice collectible item that is incredibly rare. Now, some of these were given away with the Eagle comic back in the 1950s. And other ones you could go in and you could buy them from a shop, specialist shop, that did these viewers and did the films. So yeah, it was very popular back in the 1950s, because I mean, for us to want to see our own TV shows and things like that, we didn't have things like satellite television or streaming services, or digital DVDs or VHS or anything like that. It wasn't, the technology wasn't there, it hadn't been invented. This was the latest tech, where you could view film cells, and like I say, you could probably view your own films if you have your own negatives. So I dare say that's what it was all about back in the 1950s. Before my time, I'm afraid, so I can't actually tell you what it was like back then, but I can assure you there was none of the regular TV around like we have today. There was only 2 channels in the 50s, I think. BBC 2 came out just a little bit later, but at that time I think there was only BBC One and ITV Maybe BBC Two was around by now. I can't remember the exact date when BBC Two came out. I'm sure someone will message me with the dates, but yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, this would have been a popular item for us to view and look at our film strips and go down the shops and buy some film strips so we can come back and look at them as eagerly then as we do or as we did DVDs in videos in the 80s and 90s and DVDs in the 90s and early 2000s. So but yeah, that's what it was all about. And as I say, this particular one, or ones like these, were given away with the Eagle comic in the 50s as a free gift. So 3 and 6, well, I suppose 3 shillings and sixpence, that was quite a lot of money back in the day, surprisingly so. But there we are. Anyway, let's move forward 75 years. Do these items come up for sale very often on the platforms these days? And I've got to be brutally honest and say no. I could not find any of these for love or money. I spent a good hour searching all of the search engines, all of the browsers, all of the platforms trying to find one of these, and I couldn't find one for love or money on any of them. The only thing I did find was that one of these came up at an auction site, I think it was 2016. So 9 years ago, I saw one sell at an auction site, but the auction site doesn't tell you how much they went for, and it just gives you a brief description and an image, and that's all you get. So yeah, no, they certainly don't come up for sale very often. As I say, I couldn't find a single one, so your guess is as good to mine. I suppose if you keep looking, you look hard enough, eventually somebody will have one that they want to sell, and it will appear on one of the platforms. But as I say, I couldn't find one over the last 5 years of looking through the platforms. However, we at Midas Touch, we have managed to find this one. Now, it's not the first one we've had. We have had one previously. The previous one we had 2 films with it. This particular one has only got 1 film with it. But obviously the other one sold quite some time ago. So this, at the moment, is the only one of these that we have. And it is ultra rare, but as of today, right now, it is available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Dan Dare items and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles. Come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I am absolutely positive that there is something. This is something that you will not want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you are looking for, something old that you're never able to find, something quirky that you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful, wonderful old eagle-eye Dan Dare viewer with me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next video. So bye for now.